All right, let's get this started. We are privileged tonight, yes, to have Amanda Alden, K1DDN, with us. She and her husband drove up from Canyon City here to be with us and dealt with a truck rollover on I-25 to spend a little more time than anticipated.
And then I heard I-25 is going to be closed this evening going south for construction. So, anyone got a room? Kidding. We will find another way, but
there is a way. So we can point you that direction. But Amanda is the ARRL Colorado section manager, and I'm sure she'll do a better job of telling you what that is than I will. So
well, thank you.
You're on. Thank you.
I appreciate you inviting me, everybody. First of all, I'm Amanda. Nice to meet everybody here. I'm trying to find my audience here. How many of you are ARRL members? Quite a significant amount. Great. How about lifetime members? Wow. Thank you. Thank you all for being members. I find the membership to be very important. Even I'll say that without being a section manager, we've always been an ARRL member since we were licensed, my husband and I, and I just liked it for the QST. But, you know, I find the benefit of it, and I appreciate what they're doing. I know they've had some hard times, and we can talk about that after my presentation. But also, I have a great team that are also ARRL members and part of our field appointments. And a couple of them are here. Jeff is our technical coordinator. Thank you, Jeff. And he put together a team of technical specialists. And we have one in the room, Steve, who just got his badge put on him, WB4ZCP. Thank you for being part of the team. If no one knows what the technical specialists need to do, you chase down RF noises, help with, Jeff could probably describe it better, but basically they help with those kind of conundrums, and we have a team that will respond to you and help take care of your problems or get them resolved. Anyhow, tonight I'm not really going to be talking about the ARRL. My talk is actually an audition to be a keynote speaker at HamCon Colorado. Is everyone aware of HamCon Colorado coming up in October? Hopefully you have all gotten registered. If not, do it soon. Early bird ends June 30th, and so tickets right now are only $25 a person. And I am trying to be a keynote speaker at the banquet dinner or a breakfast. Anyhow, so thank you for being here to listen to my address. And I'm working out the bugs in it, so you all, I'll take your feedback and anything I can improve in. But let me just talk about myself for a second so you can understand where I'm coming from, what I do in amateur radio. So, presentation for you guys. First of all, how did I get licensed? This is funny. I've been licensed since 2009, and the only reason I took the test is because my husband told me he didn't think I could pass it. Shame on him. I proved him very, very wrong. And I loved it so much, and I got on HF. And the only reason I got on HF was because Jeff was on HF. So yeah, I followed in his footsteps a lot, but mostly because he got really cool QSL cards in the mail. I love QSL cards. I happen to be a printer, and I own a print shop, and it's just kind of a passion to see something so personalized get sent in the mail that they put their stamp on, basically, and their personalization, and you got a feel from the town they're coming from, the state, from the country. So that's why I got into HF, and then I really just took into it a lot. I got into a lot of HF nets, traffic nets, you name it. I just love to rag chew. And then I decided I wanted to chase some DX, so I did become an extra in 2013, also a very fun time. I enjoy that tremendously. It's probably my favorite thing about amateur radio is just talking to people I've never met before. And our station is quite a nice station because, once again, because I'm also licensed. Otherwise, I think it would still be a wire in the tree and his old Yaesu. I can't even remember the model number anymore. But we currently have a 7610 55-foot tower with a Cushcraft A4S. 10 through 40 for that, and do some 80 meters. And there's tons of other stuff, but we have added tons of rigs. A 705 for camping now because we must do the camping as well. So that's kind of my HF life. Locally, I became a district emergency coordinator in 2013, and then a regional coordinator in 2014. And moving up the ranks, I became the public information coordinator for Robert Wareham when he was section manager in 2020. And when he decided he wanted to retire and leave Colorado, he asked me to take the position of section manager, and I happily accepted. Since then, I ran unopposed, so I just became section manager again in 2023. And I will be up again for election in 2025 this summer. So we'll see what goes, but hopefully I get to stay in that role. I really enjoy it. I enjoy talking to everybody throughout the state. And I am quite the people person, pretty extroverted, and just like to have a lot of fun on the air. Oh, and I do a lot of talking just on our local repeaters as well. Some of my other memberships are serving on boards. I'm part of AR Newsline. Is everyone familiar with Newsline? You hear them on your repeaters? Okay. HamCon Colorado, of course. Fun Machine repeater system. I'm on that board. And a member of RM Royal Gorge Amateur Radio Club, and the Fun Machine. I am also a co-producer of a podcast called Ham Nation, which was started by Bob Heil back in 2011. I was invited to be on the show on show number 42, and I kind of just stuck there, and Bob enjoyed what I brought to the show, and we have a great cast. Of course, Bob Heil passed away last year, which is very unfortunate, but during COVID he had to take a step away from doing the podcast. It was taking too much of his time, and he asked me to take it over. So me and Josh Nass, KI6NAZ from Ham Radio Crash Course, if you've ever seen any of his videos, took it on, and now we do it bi-weekly. We're going to have a show this Wednesday. It's going to be kind of a recap of Dayton, but those are some of the things that I do in amateur radio. I really love Ham Nation. I've met so many people, and my passion is to share people's stories. So if you have an unusual story or something you think would be of interest to the nation and beyond, always come to me, and I'd love to have you on the show. I was also privileged enough, Jeff and I both were invited to the Last Man Standing set to operate from their working amateur radio set. Does everyone remember Last Man Standing with Tim Allen? And if you don't, it was a comedy show on ABC, and then it moved to Fox, and it was on for about 7 or 8 seasons, and we did that for 2 seasons in a row, and it was blast. The John Amadeo, who was the producer, is also a ham, AA6AA, I believe, and he got us to go on. It was the most memorable thing. I should have retired in ham radio after that. But okay, so I'm just here to talk about ham radio and to open your eyes to our future of ham radio. So I'm sure a lot of you are on Facebook and other places where you see memes, lots and lots and lots of memes. Have you seen the ones where it says how it started, how it's going, how it started, how it's going? I can bring you through some of those. Some of the cute ones, how it started. Guy started working for McDonald's 25 years ago, now owns 20 franchises, okay? Other cute ones, this is one of our friends. How it started, her in kindergarten, now she just graduated this week. How it started, our dog Radio, and now he's an adult, how it's going. There's some success stories with how it started and how it's going as well. Let's take a look at Amazon. They started in a garage, right? Now look at them. Huge warehouses all over the place. I love the success stories. We can look at older success stories, hundreds of years, how GE started with a light bulb, maybe an idea or two that was stolen from somebody else, but a success story nonetheless. They go into home appliances and are in all of our houses. Success, that's 75 years, 80 years after they started. Now they're into jet engines, 100% success. But there's failures too. Look at Blockbuster. Started out booming, now there's only one left. Radio Shack, boy. Does everybody remember their last Radio Shack receipt? Did it go from here to the door? Yeah? I know Jeff and I were putting some pictures on about how long we could get our receipt, and we cleaned out our Radio Shack. But it's unfortunate to see some of these failures. Another one, Sears. I miss my Sears, I miss my Montgomery Wards. Have you guys ever heard of the Sears City? They had a whole city outside of Chicago, Illinois. Jeff and I just watched a video on this not too long ago. Whole city completely abandoned. How many? It was about 500 acres or so, building after building after building, all full of Craftsman, Kmart, all Sears, all of it after COVID, just abandoned. When people go in there and do videos now, they sneak in with their cameras and show all the things left behind. It's quite interesting. But how did they become a failure? What happens? Do we want to be that amateur radio? We don't want to be this how it started, how it's going, and be a failure, correct? There's technology. First computer. Now the computers. Our telephones, where are they now? Right here on our little wrists. Amateur radio, how did it start? This, a whole room full to make one transmission to this amazing equipment now. You remember your logbooks? Do you guys still use logbooks? Yeah? I use envelopes. I use whatever is laying on the desk because I'm too lazy to pull up my log on my computer, so I might make a contact and it might be a Post-it note, but I do have lots of logs written down on envelopes that I've gone to fill in later on. Just my thing, I guess. Anyhow, this is kind of our logging software now. Technology is a beautiful thing. Anyone in here have to go take their tests at the FCC building? Yeah? Don't you love it that we can now test online? I like how it's going. Where it's going. All of that was how it's going, how it started, but where are we going in amateur radio? You guys should all take a look around because you're all part of where it's going. Whether you want to or not, you got your license, you're part of it now. So thank you for being that part. Basically, no matter your level of involvement, you are part of this group. You are the community. You can't just turn in your license and say no more. You can choose what steps you want to take. You can be one that wants to take 10 steps forward, or you can be the person that says, you know, I'm pretty happy where amateur radio is right now. I think this is as far as I'm going to go. That's fine. No problems. But it's still going to be moving forward, isn't it? I kind of tried to look to see if there were hobbies or activities that have succeeded remaining exactly the same. And Jeff brought up one as we were driving up here. He said fishing. You know what, honey, you're absolutely right. Fishing has not evolved very much. You can still do the same thing. Line and the worm and the hook in there. I looked at a couple other ones though. Rodeos really haven't changed that much. Pretty much the same for the last 100 years. Soap carving. Soap carving has not really changed. Calligraphy. Doesn't have to change to have the hobby of calligraphy. It's always been the same. Maybe a couple new tools, new ink, maybe. That's about it. So I couldn't really think of a lot of hobbies that haven't evolved. My point is I'm trying to get at is we're just going to evolve. It's just part of it. It's just part of our hobby. It's what's happening every day. So do we want our radio hobby to be like Sears or do we want it to be like Amazon? Choice is ours. Where are we going? So part of the Sears model, and you hear the same adages of, that's how we've always done it. We've never done it like that before. That will never work. We don't do it that way. And I think my husband, again, he's so full of information. These are our absolutes that we probably want to avoid. This would be your Sears model. Have you heard that at a meeting before? Maybe. I know I have. I might have even said it before. Well, in the past, we've always done fill in the blank. We're trying to avoid that. Let's try. Not saying it's going to not ever happen, but see, never happen. But let's try to avoid it if we can. The Amazon model, full of success, being open to new ideas. Let's try it and see what happens. My mentor, Bob Heil, his biggest deal was to not make things too complicated. And when talking about antennas, he didn't even care about grounding. He didn't believe in it, if you can believe that. He always just said, just put up a wire and see what you can hear. It's that simple. He liked the KISS method now, mind you. So, but let's just try it and see what happens. That's a great model. Be inviting to new hands. I already see that here. I see so many young faces and new faces from the last time I was here, which, my goodness, I can't remember when that was, but lots of new people. So I already know that this group is very inviting to new hands. Learning new skills. Learning new skills is one thing, but actually using them and enjoying them, that's up to you, but consider it. And then there's good experimenting. Experiment with your antennas, new radios, modes. How do you do that? Your field day is very important for doing that, obviously. And I just heard you guys planning for field day. So we missed your field day last year. I think we were about 45 minutes late. We were coming from Elbert County and we came down here, and I knew you guys had a very short window. And is it Foxhound? Okay, Fox Run. We missed you. It was unfortunate. And then the weather came in right after that, so you would have had to close up. But obviously, I love field day. Who loves field day? Everyone? Yes. Not just for the food, but food's good too. Jeff loves it because he loves to set up and get with friends, and it was always fun time to get with your friends. But that's a great time to experiment. First of all, you don't have expectations at field day down to you. Now, there's the competitive people like this girl standing right here who says, make contacts, work it. But there's the other part that loves to just see what radio people brought because they're not accustomed to it. It's fun. It's fun to play with a new radio. It's fun to learn what options it might have. Modes. Maybe you don't do FT8. Maybe you don't think you're going to be interested in it. Maybe field day, they'll be doing FT8. Maybe you can listen to some CW and have a fun time with it, and maybe you'll really find that you like it and want to pick it up if you don't already do it. Experimenting, I can't say enough about the things that you should try to do with it. And everybody has a niche. Like Jeff's is repeaters. He is a repeater guru. Now he's messing with P25. So he's experimenting as well with simulcast as well. So where are we headed in amateur radio, and how will you be involved? It's always up to you. How do you want to be involved? It's always up to you. How much has the hobby already involved? We can look at the basics. Basics have remained the same, or have they? Not really. Even CW keys have evolved over the years. So everything has changed from 1905 until now. Everything's different. They started with a straight key, then a bug, now vibroplex. Everything is different. Phone. What options did we have for a phone back when amateur radio first started? AM, FM, now we have single sidebands. Everything is involved. And on your radios, you used to have crystals in your radios and figure out what frequencies you plan to use and how crystal is made for that. The national traffic system, that is evolving right now. We used to just send radiograms. Is everyone familiar with the national traffic system pretty much? Okay. Somehow, we're working to facilitate our government requirements and requests, and that is to use an ICS form 213. So we are evolving and learning how to send traffic the same but different, using different protocols, using WinLink, Vera, all those things to send that same traffic. And it might be still worded the same way, it's just sent a little bit different or in a format that's easier for the government and others to handle. So Even our basics have evolved numerous times throughout the last 100 years. Why stop here? You might just say, I am satisfied where amateur radio is right now. But 5 years from now, 10 years from now, some genius, another Joe Taylor, might come up with another mode or another option. Why would we turn that down or snub our nose at it? Let's be open. Yes, we have CW phone, digital, APRS, FTA, POTA, POTA. Who's my POTA people around here? Lots of POTA? Yeah, there you go. There's always a POTA fanatic in every room, I'll tell you that much.
There are a bunch.
Are there? And I left out soda. See, this is a work in progress. Where are my soda guys? I know K0NR used to be here in this club and do a lot of sodas. Whenever I go camping at Dick's Peak, he's the first person I hear on 14658. And Steve, of course, CW, all the time. Yes, so, and satellites. Had we stopped at just trying to make contacts with the 3 satellites we used to have, SO52 or XO50, we would be stagnant in our satellite activity. Look at how many CubeSats are up there now and how much more options we have. We're evolving, we're doing more, we're having more fun. Of course, I'm not footing the bill for it, so I'm not as concerned, but look at our kids having fun with it too. What else can possibly go on with amateur radio? Space radio. Space radio is going to be huge. I'm not saying I'm going to be involved in it, but we are going to have amateur radio on Mars. As soon as we have a person on Mars, we're going to have amateur radio there. Our own Deep Space Exploration Society, is everyone aware of them here in Colorado? Oh, okay, hi. Yes, an Venus-Earth bounce. Who would have thought that that could be possible? DSES helped make that happen, along with a German club. I just had them on my show. I should remember this better. But anyhow, they had to do kind of a trifecta from around the whole world to make this work. But that's where we're going. That's what we're doing. Let's not be stagnant. Let's keep doing it. Again, what else are we doing with the amateur radio? Experimental medical breakthroughs. How many of you had a procedure using some kind of RF? Anybody? Yeah? Breaking up some lumps, these things, more with mesh-tastic. We're going to see a lot more things happening very soon with mesh-tastic. This one is scary to me, I think. Assistance from AI. I don't want to shut it down, but we're probably already using it. It's probably just a matter of time before you can tell your Alexa to find out where, Cape Verde is on 20 meters. She'll be able to tell you. She's not going to make the contact for you, but she could probably turn on your rig and get it ready, put it on the right frequency. I can't even think that far ahead of what AI is going to do for us in amateur radio. Other things that we're going to be doing with amateur radio that are kind of related, not related, is auxiliary communications. Are any of you emergency communications? You guys were planning a public safety event. So auxiliary communications is basically taking our skill set, using us hands to develop communications during a time of emergency. Obviously, we have Colorado Auxcom here, and that fills that gap, and we work with the state of Colorado DHSEM. But what does that actually consist of? Well, it's taking our skills, our wonderful skills, and knowing how to build a radio out of a battery and a resistor and some duct tape. And we go and put that together for our government or people in need. So during a hurricane, things like that, we help set up their Starlinks because they don't know how. They have them all. They have 15 units. They don't know how to do it. That's where we come in and we kind of do those auxiliary communications. It could be hooking up a printer or getting them to be able to print out a document because they've just never trained. They don't know how to do it, and we do. We're their team. We'll be there with our ham radios too, ready to help whenever needed, but it might not always be the necessary need. So new ideas sometimes need new people, sometimes. Youth, that is kind of the ARRL initiative right now. They're very hot on this topic, and they're having teachers' institutes all over the United States. They're having 6 throughout the United States this year, And basically, if you get the teachers involved, you can get the students involved, which gets us the youth. It's very important to them, and they are looking for donations for those causes if you're looking for money to give away. I don't have extra money, but what else is youth good for? Agility. Teach them how to climb your towers.
I'm okay, everyone.
You need somebody that can bend down, crawl into a hole, reach into that trench, up high on that tower, hoist a little bit, this, that, or the other. Our youth is important, so don't discount them. I'm not saying that they're just mules, by the way, honey, I swear. But it is helpful, and just to have a new set of eyes as well. Especially since my husband leaves his glasses in the car all the time, a new set of eyes is very helpful. We need the latest tech gurus. If we're going to increase our technology use, we need the brains behind it. And ham radio relies heavily on it, whether you know it or not. Is everyone familiar with the ARRL ham microwave network backbone? Yeah, microwave all over the place. They have taken on this huge project throughout from Wyoming to southern New Mexico. But they only have so much IT help, and it's all IT, lots of IT. All programming, networking, lots of networking, routing. I can't tell you all about it because I'm not that knowledgeable, but that man in the back is. They don't have enough people to do that kind of stuff. And I see that it's going that way in the future a lot. And it is independent of the internet. You know, it's on 5.8 gigs, but not the same as civilian use. It's ham radio frequencies. So it's important to keep it up, but when something goes bad, you also need your network IT guru there to help. So my takeaways, or your takeaways, please. Amateur radio has constantly evolved and will continue to do so. It's not ever going to stop. If it stops, it's going to be really boring for us, I think. It is up to us to ensure it remains successful, and we need new faces to keep moving forward. We're all part of where amateur radio is going. I know I've said that like numerous times tonight, but it's true. And thank you very much for taking the time tonight. Are there questions, comments about anything ARRL related? What's going on in Colorado? Yes, sir.
What would you say are the main benefits of? What would you say are the main benefits of joining ARRL?
Well, first of all, you get a wonderful publication, QST. You get, now you put me on the spot. You get all of the options of all of the learning and educational on their website. So first of all, you can get any magazine article since its inception, and also all of their online tutorials and the option to apply for their scholarships at your age, and also to find out where all the clubs are. And if you're a club and you're an affiliated club, people get pushed to you. If they're looking for a testing location or a club, it shows up with your information. And as youth, you get a free membership. So you should definitely take advantage of that.
Spectrum Defense.
Oh, yes, Spectrum Defense. I see that as separate, but everyone aware of the 900 megahertz fiasco currently, where NextNav is trying to borrow some experimental spectrum of 900, and it is going to squarely affect any repeaters that are coordinated in the 900 band. And they would like to use it for navigation purposes, and ARRL is fighting for that currently right now. Another thing, we all are aware of a new FCC director, Brendan Carr, and his delete comments and saying, I'm open to listening to anybody who wants to do anything. ARRL went straight to them and gave them things that they would like to see actually change. Some restrictions unleashed on 80 meters, and also a new licensing format for the Tech Plus to give them more HF privileges. Not older, longer licensed hams may be opposed to that, saying, oh, I think they need to work harder to test to get their privileges. They need to. I'm not sure my personal opinion on it. In one aspect, I'm like, I worked so much harder than that to get my HF privileges. And then the next is, well, if they get to play with HF a little bit, maybe they'll pursue more. It's kind of like when you had to take your code test and they said, okay, well, here's your license, but you have to sign your promise that you'll come back and test for your code at this point in time. Well, you did it, right? If you had to.
We used to have the novice class.
Mm. Any other questions or comments? No?
Tell us about the fun method.
Oh, the fun machine. You'd like to hear about the fun machine? Okay. I can ask Jeff to come step up here and talk about the fun machine and what it's doing and where it's going.
You're on the board, you can explain it.
I can explain it. We put in together a repeater system, a linked repeater system, but you know what? I'm just not going to explain it right, so I'm just going to let you.
So I started with one repeater right after I think I got my technician license. And then I was like, well, I want another one, and I put one at where I work actually. And then I wanted a way to link them together, and I tried to use Echolink, and that was kind of an abysmal failure at work, but it didn't work the way that I wanted it to. And so then I got into All-Star, and then somebody else got involved and said, well, why don't you put a repeater here? And then why don't you put a repeater? And we wound up with like 12. And it was really cool. And but then I realized that I was one of the ones that was working on them all the time. So I still love it. But so yeah, it's an All-Star based linking system. They're all on UHF, so 70 centimeters. I kind of stayed away from VHF just because just because there's so little spectrum, and everybody loves 2 meters, but there's just hardly any real estate there, and there's a wait list on the front range for repeater pairs and stuff. So when we started doing the fun machine, 70 centimeters was wide open. There was hardly anything. So it was all, we could almost choose what pairs that we wanted because there just wasn't a lot. Now, as we see more repeaters being deployed in the DMR and D-Star and all the digital stuff, you're seeing a lot more. But anyway, I got sidetracked there. So we're linking them together with All-Star over Rocky Mountain Ham's microwave backbone. So it's all kind of, there's a portal to the internet. So if you have an All-Star node, you can connect in, but all of the linking between sites is actually all on RM Ham's microwave network. So it rides the same thing as Colorado Connection. In fact, the fun machine was basically the guinea pig for Colorado Connection. We started linking with All-Star and talking to Doug and some of those folks were like, this will work. This is a way forward, because Qualcomm used to actually use analog links. They would have the VHF repeater and a repeater controller, and then a UHF link, just an analog link. So there's UHF radio on both sides, and that would carry the audio to the next site, and they would go, across the state that way. And so we actually we proved on the fun machine that this would actually work, and you could link it privately because Qualcomm doesn't have external. You can't connect to it. You can't connect with Echolink or All-Star or anything like that. So All-Star was a way. There was a way to do it privately to use it as a linking technology, but not have it open to the whole world. So that's kind of where it started, and it's kind of pretty static. Like she said earlier, we've moved into experimenting a lot with P25. We've got several sites up with APCO P25, and we're kind of playing with that. But
Simulcast.
And simulcast. We're actually working simulcast with analog and with P25. So that's where you have, if you don't know what it is, it's where you have 2 or 3 or 4 transmitters all on the same frequency, all at the same time, and they use GPS to time things. And what I have found is that if it sounds complicated, it's because it is. It is very complicated, and I kind of walked into it thinking, how hard could it be? Not necessarily. I mean, but where basically where your two transmitters overlap, you have to time that, with how many microseconds an RF travels, and yeah, so and that's the math that it just GPS. Yeah, it just uses 1 pulse per second and then locks the transmitter to 10 megahertz to keep it on, within a 1 hertz or 2 of frequency error. But the whole microseconds and error and thing, I'm not a math guy, so that makes my head hurt even thinking about it. But I just put one up today, so on P25, and we're playing with it, and I found out how ugly the overlap area can be. So work in progress, but it's a lot of fun. It's fun to experiment. It's and we did P25 because no one else was really doing it. So there's a lot, obviously DMR, Rocky Mountain Ham, and other groups that there's DMR everywhere, and it's gone crazy, and it's awesome. I mean, there's coverage all over the state. There's a little bit of D-Star, but P25 was one we looked at, and nobody was using it, so we decided to go that route.
Didn't P25 get put on XLF?
Okay.
Yeah, so the repeater we use for our weekly net.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. It's a fun mode. I mean, and it's pretty. I mean, it was built for public safety, so it's up to that standard. So unfortunately, a lot of the gear is public safety prices too. So
Our speakers last month were with Qualcomm.
really? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
Will
actually
was doing it, wasn't he? I think it was Will.
I'm actually missing a Qualcomm board meeting right now, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, and we were basically the guinea pig for that, and it was a case that we got to work with it and experiment with it and understand all the quirks, and then some of the guys on the call context side kind of went off and our Will is doing stuff with that just makes my head spin. I mean, he's prototyping new hardware, and it's amazing what every time we have a meeting, he just has all these new things he was working on. So pretty smart guy. That's my nickel tour.
Other things, follow the section on our social media page. We have Facebook for Colorado section, and you can join in on our section nets, which are on CallCon and the Fun Machine, the second Monday of every month at 7 p.m. So hope to hear you all on there. We do a question of the night kind of thing. And, this month, or June, it will be all about field day. Nothing. So thank you, everyone, for having me. Thank you, everyone online, Zoom callers. Thank you, and thanks for listening to my audition tape. So.